Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another story filled with drama, betrayal, and shocking twists. My name is Ethan, and for 5 years Olivia had been my world. She was charming, witty, and for the most part deeply in love with me, or at least that's what I thought. We shared a life together. Dinners, vacations, dreams for the future. I trusted her completely, or at least I believed I did. The cracks began quietly. A few missed calls here, a distant tone there, casual mentions of friends I had never met, or meetings that conveniently overlapped with my schedule. First I brushed it off. People get busy, right? Relationships go through phases. But there was something off, something I couldn't ignore. Then came the trip. Olivia had been invited to a weekend getaway with Jake, a guy she had mentioned in passing but never introduced me to. She said it was a friendly trip, nothing more. I wanted to trust her, to believe her words, but a part of me, a small nagging voice, was uneasy. I tried to rationalize it. It's just a trip. She's allowed to have friends. I need to give her space. But deep down, I knew that this trip was more than just a casual weekend. There was excitement in her voice when she talked about him, an energy that she hadn't shown me in months. And that energy didn't sit right with me. The day she left, I felt a hollow weight in my chest. I didn't beg her to stay, I didn't try to control her. I simply watched her go, forcing myself to act normal, to smile and wish her a good time. But as the car disappeared down the street, I made a choice that would change everything. I didn't call, I didn't text, I didn't stalk her location like I might have in the past. Instead, I did something different. Something deliberate. Something that would make her question everything she thought she knew about me. I stayed calm. I went about my day as if nothing had happened, but I also began preparing quietly, watching, noticing small details she had left behind, subtle signs that only someone paying attention would catch. By the time she returned, the dynamic between us had already shifted. She had expected me to panic, to plead, to act jealous, but I had done something else entirely. And when she walked through that door, smiling, expecting normalcy, she was met with a reality she hadn't anticipated. When Olivia stepped through the door, I could see the excitement still lingering in her eyes, the subtle adrenaline from the trip she had been on with Jake. She expected me to ask questions, maybe even get upset, but I didn't. I greeted her calmly like any ordinary day, and that's when I noticed it. A small slip, a hesitation in her smile, the way she avoided eye contact for a fraction of a second. It was enough. I invited her to sit down, poured us each a glass of water, and started a conversation. Not about the trip, not about Jake, not about her. I spoke about things she hadn't expected me to notice. Details of her daily routine she had assumed I ignored, little changes in her apartment, the way the mail was stacked differently. I talked as if nothing had happened, and yet every word, every observation, subtly reminded her that I had been paying attention all along. Her smile began to falter. She tried to make small talk, to insert casual stories from her trip, but I was always one step ahead. I asked the right questions, not accusatory, not angry, just precise enough to make her aware that I knew more than she imagined. The tension in the room thickened, and I could feel her scrambling for composure. Then came the turning point. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I simply said, I hope the trip was exactly what you needed, because I've realized something about us while you were gone. Her brow furrowed, her mouth slightly open, expecting an apology, an argument, or some outburst. But I stayed calm. While you were away, I thought about what I deserve, what I've given, and what I will no longer tolerate. Her friends' faces flashed in my mind. Maya, Lily, Tara. People who would have begged me to forgive or ignore her actions. But I wasn't concerned with their opinions this time. This was about honesty, clarity, and respect. I won't allow someone I love to treat me like I'm invisible. I can't control your choices, Olivia, but I can control mine. A subtle silence fell over the room. She had expected confrontation, but instead got clarity. A calm, unwavering boundary she couldn't manipulate. I could see the panic rising, the realization that I was no longer reacting the way I had in the past. That's when the shift happened. Everything changed, not because of anger, but because I had taken control of my own life. Olivia's eyes finally met mine, wide and uncertain. She had expected a storm, a fight, maybe even tears, but what she found was a calm resolve she hadn't seen before. The energy in the room shifted instantly. For the first time in years, I wasn't reacting to her actions, I was guiding the outcome. I took a deep breath and said, "Olivia, I've realized that being with someone who cannot be fully honest or present isn't love. It's compromise. And I refuse to compromise my self-respect any longer." Her lips parted as if to interrupt, but I didn't give her the chance. This isn't punishment, and it's not revenge. It's clarity. For both of us. I watched as her expression changed from confusion to disbelief. She hadn't expected this. Nobody had. She may have imagined me frantic, pleading, begging her to stay, but I had done something far more powerful. I had taken control of my own life. The moment wasn't about her reactions. It was about my boundaries, my dignity, and my decision to stop being invisible in my own relationship. In the following days, I maintained that same calm, measured approach. I didn't argue, I didn't justify, and I certainly didn't allow anyone to guilt me. Her friends, who had once tried to sway me with emotional pleas and frantic messages, were left in stunned silence. Their expectations of manipulation, negotiation, and drama crumbled. They had thought their words could reverse my decision, but the truth is, nothing they could say mattered. What mattered was my choice to honor myself. Reflecting back, I realized this wasn't just about a trip or a single betrayal. It was about recognizing patterns, reclaiming self-respect, and asserting boundaries that should never have been negotiable. Olivia's choices had forced my hand, yes, but the power of my reaction changed the dynamic entirely. The situation shifted from chaos to clarity, from uncertainty to resolution. And the people who thought they could influence me, the friends, the bystanders, even Olivia herself, were reminded that no amount of pleading or pressure could replace honesty and self-worth. Sometimes the most dramatic changes don't come from shouting, confrontation, or revenge. They come from calm, deliberate action, and the courage to prioritize yourself over the expectations of others. That trip, which could have destroyed everything, instead became the turning point. I didn't just survive it. I emerged stronger, clearer, and finally in control of my own life. And in that moment, everything changed.